I have an honor today to interview, I love this description, a whimsical artist, a believer, a wife, and a mom who experienced healing from emotional neglect as a child. But I love the fact that she has her daughters and, just inspiring her. She's the oldest sibling who will share how her healing journey helped her become a better parent. We were just talking right before I press record that we don't realize the power of, our healing journey. And sometimes we're oblivious that we even need to heal, right? We just think, okay, I'm suffering. This is it. Got to do my parenting thing, and that how it affects the way we parent and the way our kids are raised, right?
So
Thank you
true.
so much, Denisse. Share your story and how can we be inspired as well when things feel a little hopeless?
Oh, thank you so much. It's such an honor to finally get to meet you and to be on your show. Um, I think the biggest thing that has helped me is I've always been a sensitive empath. So growing up and feeling that emotional neglect, I feel that has helped me. I first of all, being the oldest, I kind of felt like I parented my siblings a little bit. So that kind of helped a little bit with my parenting journey. But I do notice in everyday parenting, sometimes we do things that are subconscious. Like you react, something kind of will either trigger you or irritate you. So something that I've been doing is trying to think before I speak. So I take a step back and I say, okay, is this really me or is this my inner voice of something I heard in my childhood? And I know this sounds really crazy, but something that's been magical that has helped me is if I feel like it's not me, if I feel like, let's say, for example, it was one of my parents' voice, I just like pause and I tell them, I need you to go home right now because now I'm the parent. And so
I love that.
that has been so amazing. Or let's say a teacher that I had, I'm like, okay, where is it coming from? And then I just tell them to go home and then I can process and then handle the situation better.
That is
So it's been
powerful.
amazing. Yeah, I've been probably doing that very intentional, probably since about 2014. My child was in kindergarten, so I started really early just to
Wow.
just to kind of help. And then also because I feel with my empathy, when I'm in a certain situation, it really helps for me to think back. For example, if my child's in seventh grade right now, so think back to my own little seventh grade self and say, well, what did I need in this situation? Or if I acted like that, what would I be really needing? And so that's why my daughter's been so inspirational. And she also loves the arts. She's so amazing. She is so much better than I am. I've been having her paint since she was probably like a year old with the
Oh
finger
my
paints, and she already knew. And
gosh.
she never tried to eat the paint or anything. And she's been drawing on my walls as a toddler. But and so she's just such an inspiration. And
But
I
you
think that God,
started at such a young age. Do you think that it's too late, or what happens when you have a 12 or 13-year-old now? You know what I think is instrumental is you put
mhm,
yourself back to
mhm,
your child's present age, no matter what age that is. How do you think that
yes,
that helps when you put yourself in, her 12-year-old shoes, when you put herself in like when she was
mhm.
6 or little? How
I
does that?
think that it's really, really helped me because, um, as moms, we like to compare ourselves to other moms. For example, oh, that mom's doing this and this mom's giving, these chores and they're parenting this way. I feel that that has really helped me to stop comparing myself to others. And I just compare myself to, I guess I focus and I don't compare myself to anybody but myself and learn from, to be more in tune with my daughter.
Mhm.
And I think that that has really helped to drop some of that comparison with other parents by putting myself in in her shoes. It just the focus is there's no time to focus on what other moms are doing.
That
So
alone can
it's been
be,
awesome.
yeah, it's just so powerful because I think without even realizing it, we just end up comparing. I
Yes.
say the number one thing is not to compare, and then all of a sudden I find myself comparing like why do I get frustrated when other people
Yeah.
are patient? Instead of saying that it's, what would you say to a mom who's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm just so done."
So I also take little mommy breaks, even if it's only like 2 minutes. let's say that if I get like irritated or I can't handle it right there, I say, okay, well, I'll be back. I just need a little time out. And then I come back, take a deep breath, and then go back and handle the situation. So I think little mommy timeouts, little breaks to breathe, just help out a lot. Cause then you don't want to, my child's really sensitive. So I don't want to say anything that's going to hurt her in the long run.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
I think it's okay to take little timeouts and, you approach it with the clear mind. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the best advice I can give. It's okay to have little breaks, even if you have to sit in your car for a little bit
Oh
and,
yeah.
sit in the garage for a little bit or at the store, just sit there before you're going to, get off, and any little, break like that will help.
Or just even walking away, because I don't think we give
Yes.
ourselves permission. We think we have to finish the conversation when we're
Yes.
really heated. And if we just take, like you said, that 1 or 2 minutes, you come back
Hmm.
with just like you said, a clearer mindset
Hmm.
and
Yes.
just have a better, is it just clarity? Because we sometimes react, right?
Yes.
How did you even, I mean, 2014, when she was so little, what made you even just have that awareness to do what you did? Because sometimes we just know logically, but
Hmm.
we just get caught up in the emotional part of parenting where we, get frustrated, we get upset. But when she was so young, who was
Yeah.
your role model then, or how did you?
Yeah. What happened is we started going to the church that we currently have, probably about 2013. And it
Mhm.
was really amazing because they offered a parenting class. And in that parenting class, we learned about the temperaments, like the Meyer Briggs, but they did
Yes.
it more Christian based.
Uh-huh.
And so then I was able to learn her temperament and my temperament. And then I even took I even learned my husband's. So learning how we think and how we work, then I was able to, I guess, by learning more about who I was and how I
Hmm.
function, then I was able to learn, take the time to learn about how my daughter does. And I was really blessed. We're actually the same temperament.
Oh,
God just blessed me. I feel
wow.
like I tell her that, my childhood was so crazy that God was like, you know what? I'm going to give you a daughter who is going to
I think
be like your little best
so.
buddy.
Oh my
And so I think
gosh, that's
that's where it started.
amazing. Because I think that's what happens is when you are blessed with someone who it has to be a blessing, who just pushes your buttons or just makes you feel that, I don't know. I don't know if I have the capacity to even raise someone like that. But I just realized sometimes if they're too like you, right?
Hmm.
Then that
Yes.
can also be
And that can
something
also
that's
kind of
challenging.
trigger a little bit of you when they're exactly like you. Yes.
Right, right. So, share a little bit about how being the I mean, not older sibling. I'm an only child, and I always just
Oh.
envy people with, large families. What do you think, like the order, like being, the oldest, out of how many, can I ask?
Yes, there's three of us. I'm 4 years older than my brother and 5 years older than my sister.
Oh,
So just the three of us.
wow.
Hmm.
Okay. But that just changes the dynamics, like verse 2 versus 3. I mean, you
Hmm.
mentioned that you were almost like a mommy, to them. How did
Yes.
that help you like grow emotionally? Because becoming that older sibling who feels responsible, do you think that you took on too much, or do you think it just like how did it prepare you for your parents?
I do feel that I took on too much, but I think that it also helped me, um, I guess, put others before me a little bit. Even though now I'm learning that I need to, put myself first because you can't pour from an empty cup. But I think that it did teach me, um, I guess, how to, I guess, take care of others and my patience. I feel like I have a lot of, sometimes my patience is a little bit too much,
What is
which
the
is
secret to
usually the
that? I want
opposite.
that.
Yeah, so I think sometimes I have a little bit too much patience, but I think it comes from having the younger siblings, and then they're so close in age. So growing up, when they are so close in age, they'll be butting heads or fighting. So it
Yes.
kind of helped me to just take a deep breath then. And then, I guess I feel like I've been parenting since I was a child, for sure, like 9 years old. And then now that they're adults, I find myself that I still
Do you still
am
have
like their
that?
parents. So when I look at it with my daughter, I kind of feel like I'm kind of almost ready to parent an adult. Like I'm preparing for when she's an adult because they've been preparing me. So
That
I
is
guess
a
it's
huge, huge just advantage to knowing the because it is very different. You know, some people say, yeah, when they're 18, you know, you're
mhm,
done. But having a, you know, 25 and 19-year-old, it really because they feel like I know my 25-year-old says that sometimes she feels like she's 12. And I tell her, well,
mhm,
sometimes I feel like I'm 9. You know, you just think just because
yes.
you're older that you have it together, you know. But how do you think how do you just prepare though? Because I want to know, like when you said you have too much patience, is that like a, detriment sometimes? I would love to have more patience. How do you see?
Yeah. Well, sometimes I think when it does become an and when it's negative because it's
Yeah,
to the polar opposite,
yeah.
is I feel that it makes me a little bit less assertive, like in my everyday life.
Oh,
So sometimes I wish that I was a little bit more assertive. Let's say that I'm waiting in line somewhere. Like if you go to the doctor's office and you've been waiting there for 2 hours, I'm more likely to not say, "Hey, I've been waiting here," because I'm so patient that I just like, oh, it's another 30 minutes. So I guess in those situations I wish that I was a little bit more assertive. So I'm kind of working on balancing my patience actually a little bit. So that way I don't feel like, like I get taken advantage or anything like that.
right, right. So it's like I'm setting healthy boundaries because
Yes, healthy
that's what I'm
boundaries.
realizing too. Because you don't realize that sometimes you just, and maybe as a mother too, you know, we're always in that, especially when you're empath, you just give and give and give, and like you said, that empty cup. You know, if have you
Yes.
noticed? I bet your cup is rarely empty though, because if you're taking, I forget about these mommy breaks. I think I keep going, 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 you know,
Mhm.
especially like working, tutoring, and then you think, oh, that's right. I should have taken a mommy break. Are
Yes.
you, how do you incorporate that in your schedule so that is it like a routine that you're conscious of?
Yes, I try to schedule it in, and I'm a night owl. So sometimes at night, I'll take time to either like paint or read, or I've also been trying to learn the ukulele a little. And so
Ooh.
just taking time to, I think that hobby really helped me because then I set this, I'm like, okay, this is important to me. And then I set time to do that. And even like self care, even like something as little as like a face mask or like a hair
Yes.
mask, that helps me recharge. So trying to just schedule that in and think about it. And instead of thinking of it in a like a day to day basis, I try to think of it as a weekly
Mm.
to so I don't get so overwhelmed.
Yeah,
That
because I
way
think
I'm
that's
like
what
at least 3 times
happens.
this week I'm gonna yeah. Because
The
sometimes or
overwhelm.
things will come up and we get so busy. So I'm like, no, I'm gonna schedule it and like that way I have more flexibility if it's per the week.
Hmm,
But
hmm.
usually at night is when because I'm such a night owl, that I take time for myself.
Yeah, that's what I'm realizing that it's just so magical when everyone's asleep and you're able to just, you know. Are you an early
Yes.
riser though? Because if you're a night owl, you have to get up to
Um,
your daughter to school.
yeah, just to take her to school. So I guess I like late nights, but I also like mornings. But whenever she's off, let's say for like spring breaks coming up, then I'll sleep in a little bit with her, but I get up before her. But it makes it even more exciting to have time for myself because then I can stay up later.
Yes, I know. I used to feel guilty staying up, and then I thought, you know what? It is just so you're like recharged, and then all of a sudden you're
Uh-huh.
not tired, right?
Yeah, that's who you're not charged because you took care of yourself and you had time to process your thoughts of the day and journal whatever it is. Sorry, that was my little
That's
dog.
cute. Oh, I saw your dog. There was a, I think there was it like the glasses, the filter?
Oh yes,
That
yeah,
was
the
so,
little.
so cute. So
Thank
last
you.
question, how do you encourage people to even dabble in the arts when they feel oh, I'm not an artist. I don't because it's if I hadn't experimented, I don't think I would have even attempted. And you know,
Mhm.
you when you share, you know, the beauty of the hobby and how relaxing it is, I notice some people say, "Oh yeah,
Yes.
I wish I could paint. I wish I could," and they almost feel like you have to have some like skill or talent to even try, right? If you like just
Mhm.
buy watercolor set or crayons or anything, what's your advice to people who are resisting even trying?
Um, I think the biggest thing, something that has helped me because I never felt like I was a good enough artist, is just start little and find something that you enjoy. And there's so many tutorials on YouTube that have helped me, but even in the abstract way, because I had taken a like a class or a Bible study that was like a spiritual painting. And so you just put on
Oh,
music and you kind of just go with the flow and you just play with the colors. And sometimes when you just play with the colors, it's almost like your subconscious takes over your inner child. And in the end, it's just fun. Sometimes I love to paint and not even have an idea of what I'm going to paint. And I just let it flow and just, it doesn't have to be perfect. And I feel that we get discouraged because it's not perfect the first time. But
hmm
with practicing and just, I think the key is to have fun with it and letting it flow. It's kind of like
because some
dancing, I think.
oh, exactly.
Just
You
let it,
don't say,
just let it
yeah, let
flow
it
and just feel
flow.
the music.
Yeah, I've been doing like playing harp music. And then I when
Oh,
I
nice.
yeah, and it said I remember the YouTube video said that harp music actually lowers blood pressure and helps with
Mm-hmm.
anxiety. And I didn't realize the importance of what you said, the abstract, because I used to think, okay, what do I need what am I is it going to be a flower or a fruit? And then when I saw
Yes.
your, because I'm probably attracting it more abstract, you realize how fun it is. You don't even have any rules because
Yes.
right, life has so many rules, so why make rules when it comes to the arts?
Yes. That's true.
How do people find you? Because I love looking at your store. Can you explain how did that even start? Did you?
Um, yeah, actually, I had started that several years ago, and it's so easy that anybody could do it. It's society6.com. And when I first got started, I only needed to have a PayPal account. And it's really neat because what you do is you put your artwork on the website
Mhm.
and they handle it. Like I can show you a mug that I have. I don't know if you can see it, but it's
Yeah,
the
so
ocean
yeah,
water.
I saw that. So do you just choose which
So you just
item
choose
to
what.
put your artwork on?
Yes, I'm still learning a little bit of the details on the sizes of the and the the technical part of it,
Uh-huh.
but it's really neat because you put it on there and you decide what items your artwork will qualify as far as the sizing, and then they do all the processing, and you don't make a big profit off of it, but it's so much fun because to me it's more the emotional. It's
Oh
just
yeah, to
it's just
see
like it's
your
part of my
your
healing to
art.
feel like I'm an artist.
Yes.
And so it kind of helps me with my confidence. And so what happens is when one of your items gets sold, and they do give you part of the profit because for your because it's your art.
Yeah.
But it doesn't cost me anything to like on other stores like Etsy, that sort of thing, where you have to listing price or a monthly fee. There's
Yeah.
no fees, and so that's why I absolutely love it. But
Wow.
I have my link in my Instagram, which is just at Denisse with two S's Alondra.art. And I think that's the main, I guess, media that I'm using right now, or social media, to share my artwork with.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I've been following you, and I really
Oh,
encourage
thank you.
everyone to follow Denisse because your content is so inspirational. I love how you show how the paintings are created because you make it so magical. And I think, you're like,
Thanks.
I think I'm gonna do this, and then you have this creation, your final product, which you would never even thought of, but I love how you just explain the flow and how it just magically happens. So thank
Oh,
you
thank you
so
so
much.
much.
I'm so glad that we
Oh, thank you.
finally had this opportunity, and I just want to tell you that I really appreciate you.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I appreciate all your mommy meditations, and
Oh,
it
thank
helps me with my
you.
timeouts. Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Denise. Well, I'm sure we'll keep in touch and keep on creating.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, take care.
Oh, thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Have a blessed day.
You too. Bye bye.